Right, we are live. It is hello everyone. So yeah, 20 minutes trying to sort out the new version of Skype, which has basically messed everything up. So we couldn't do what we did before. Anyway, so we are here. What is this? This is Creator in Residence number 8. Number 8. So we are here with Unequal, and
Hiya.
yeah, so that was Unequal again. And we are, well, she is going to show us clothing in Blender. So we're going to make, well, not we, she's going to make a simple t-shirt.
Yep.
So we're going to go through the process of making clothing in Blender. So it'll just be a simple t-shirt because obviously we're limited in the amount of time that we've got and don't want this to be too complicated. So take it away.
Right. So I start with the cube. I actually use the default cube usually.
Oh wait, before you start, are you using the toolkit? What avatar is that?
Yeah, this is my avatar. I can use the IMVU one if you want actually.
It
right?
might be better. Yes, it might be better for this.
Alright, let's do brand new. Okay. So yeah, clothing tool. And then female. There we go. Right, cube. I always hide the armature because I can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Right, so basically we just want to kind of shape this to the torso. And then we also want to make holes for the neck, arms, and the torso as well. So I usually get rid of, I don't, loop cuts. So I use shortcuts a lot. Should I turn on my, what's it called? When you can see what buttons I'm pressing. What's that thing called?
Oh, yes, I know what you mean. The key button, key
thingy bob.
Yeah, that one.
I don't actually know how to turn it on. I have to Google it. I'll have a look in a second.
Shortcut something or other.
Yeah, is it an add-on?
Yes, I think it is.
Let's just see. Shortcut. No. Green. No. Alright, 1 second. Screencast.
Is it screencast?
No, it lied. Oh, download. Right, okay. Let me grab that. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Nice. Right. Anyway, so I will do a couple loop cuts. I need a couple for now because I'll add a subdivision modifier.
Right.
And obviously we don't want it to go too nuts.
Yeah. Cray.
Yeah. How many do I want? Go for 2 for now. 2 there. Yeah. Right, and then get rid of all these.
Oh, I see.
And then there's our subdivision modifier.
Yeah.
So that is it.
Yeah.
Make these very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
See what you're doing. Yeah.
And then we kind of just start modeling. You know, we need, what is this? Where does this come from? Then proportional editing. I usually have this on like all the time. But rarely turn it off. And we kind of just start, just molding it. And then where you've got quite a harsh curve, I usually just add in another loop cut instead of trying to move everything one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then to make things easier, I'll just pop in a loop cut straight in the middle and then delete half of it. And add a modifier, mirror modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Should have done this before. There we go. I'm very bad with symmetry, so I kind of have to use that.
Well, no, it's not just that though, is it? I mean, the avatars themselves aren't fully symmetrical.
There's that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we want some armholes. So let's clean this up a little bit.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Motorbike.
Yeah. I've got my window open as well.
All right. So that's you're extruding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go again, probably. Yeah, a lot of things, a lot of body parts will stick out for a while, but I fix those a lot later.
Mm.
because you really just want like a very basic. It doesn't even really need to look like a t-shirt, but as long as it kind of covers where you want it to cover.
Yeah, I mean, basically all you're doing is blocking out the basic shapes. Yeah. And you can kind of see where the avatar isn't symmetrical because you've got a little bit of red poking out on on screen right versus screen left. So that's one thing you do have to watch out for when you are making clothes is the symmetry of the mesh, because it's not exact. Okay, so you're now starting to refine the shape a little bit.
Yeah, kind of just want to smooth it out to make it a little bit easier, because obviously once I apply that subdivision modifier,
Yes.
there's going to be quite a lot going on.
Yeah.
You also want to make sure you add the least amount of loop cuts as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Whilst making sure that if you're adding one on the back, add one on the front.
Yeah.
Just because I've cut the holes already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. We won't be able to fix that right now. Right, I'm gonna apply that. I'm just gonna duplicate that in case I mess it up.
Yeah.
And then what we have.
So you'll be able to back me up on this. So Kiss has been asking on YouTube about making heads. So my question to you is, how difficult are heads to make unequal?
On
On a
yeah, I never want to say anything's hard, right? Because like,
yeah,
I had no experience of Blender within this last year. I've only just started this year.
yeah,
And now the difference is I had a lot of time on my hands.
yeah,
So it's more, do you have the time to make a head?
yeah,
Rather than how hard is it? Because it will take an incredibly long time if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so on a scale of very to extremely.
Extremely, probably. Yeah, I think I mean, I guess it's the hardest thing to make.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's your answer, Kiss. Unequal says so.
I mean, I would never go anywhere near heads. Let's put it that
No,
way.
I mean, I won't. I won't
No.
even touch them really.
No. I've just flipped into sculpt mode.
Do you want to enable wireframe overlay?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull the opacity down there.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect. So we can see what the structure's doing as you. Right. So
we can. Oh, that's not on. There we go.
Oh, that was just about to say.
But yeah, I've been using sculpt mode a lot recently because
So,
it just saves so much time.
So you use the mirror modifier to create the basic structure of the mesh and then switch into sculpt mode and use the sculpt mirror, the X, what is it, XY?
To be fair, I don't actually think about it. It's just that the mirror modifier has just disappeared. I don't know why. So
Yeah.
for the purposes of this, I'm going to put it back on actually. But yeah, I do. So, sometimes I won't use the mirror modifier at all. There you go. So what happened there? There we go. But yeah, the that kind of middle part can be quite off-putting. So
yeah, you don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah. The only tools I'll really use here are smooth, crease, and grab.
Right. So you're not. You're not.
Inflate.
Yeah. So you're not sculpting per se.
No.
You're using, but you are using the sculpting tools to help you modify the shape of the mesh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a lot quicker. And where it's so early on, it doesn't really matter how much you mess up. It's so easy to mess up in edit mode rather than sculpting.
Yeah.
Because you can just smooth out your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we already just created the front just like that instantly. And then I want to see for a very tight top, I'll do a shrink wrap.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad this is gonna go because I usually do it. No, it's not too bad. Let's see how that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna work right now. This is if I'm doing anything kind of higher poly, I'll put that on sort of around then because you can really get into the creases and stuff like that, and you can see the shape a bit easier as well. I guess it's a little more difficult with the standard IMVU avatar because it's very blocky.
Yeah, it's low poly, low res.
Yeah, so you can't really figure out where stuff's meant to go as easy as something with, you know.
So someone's asked in YouTube chat, why not use well, basically using a background. Why don't you use a background image? You know, like the so that you can see what you're doing. You've got a background image.
Oh, a reference.
A reference image. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't really use them. I kind of stopped using references because I don't like to kind of rely on them. Like if this t-shirt was to suddenly turn into a cardigan or a dress even, I kind of like that freedom where you know, for something like a t-shirt I really won't bother because it's like I kind of know what I know what t-shirt looks like at this point. And you know, you're almost duplicating the avatar's torso as well. I will use a reference most times when I won't do it today, but I will sculpt on my details for the higher poly version when I do my normal mapping. So I'll draw on seams and
Yeah.
creases and everything like that.
Yeah.
Then I'll probably use a reference.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you were designing or making something specific,
Yep.
then it makes sense to use a reference image. But if you're not, there's not really much point in using them.
No.
Because, yeah, you're right. You lose that flexibility of just being able to make something and see what happens.
Yeah. I'd also, if you're just starting out, I personally wouldn't bother with references because you get so fixated on it should look like this.
Yes. Yeah.
That you kind of lose the fact that that you're learning. So that freedom is very good when you first start because nothing has to look like anything at this point.
Yeah.
It's very much just you relaxing.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, so we just want to kind of start getting things because it's smooth to where we can see what we're doing now. But we got to clean up now. Probably just delete that. Another tool I use all the time is Smooth in edit mode.
Right.
I use it non-stop because it just sort of fixes all the mistakes you've made very quickly.
Oh, right. So this is the neck, the hole in the...
Yeah.
Right.
This again is just a whole lot of smoothing and placing. So yeah, but I pretty much just place stuff where I need them. So this is a mess. Stuff like this is when you start adding your textures,
it's very awkward.
Awful. Yeah. So smooth again, and then it would just sort of straighten everything out.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got to be careful that you don't lose the shape that you're after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add another subdivision on that now because it's only 400, triangles.
Right.
If I apply that quickly, how much does that go to? Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, it was about 3.4K. No,
yeah, so that's actually an interesting point because you don't want to, as we'll find out later, you don't want your meshes to be too dense just for the sake of them being dense and detailed, because you then have the problems that creates when you weight the clothing item to the avatar, because the avatar determines how well, if you've got a high detailed mesh on top of the default avatar, you're likely going to get clipping issues because of the disparity between the low res avatar and your high res clothing item. And then of course you've got the issue of weighting that much mesh data to the avatar. But if you're using a custom avatar, so what you're basically doing is making your clothing to roughly match whatever avatar base you're using.
Yeah, so you can kind of see I've sort of followed the sort of almost it. They relatively look the same.
Yeah.
700. Yeah, about 800 on mine. Yeah, so it's pretty close. Because yeah, waiting is a nightmare.
Yeah.
When you've done this wrong. But my own avatar is has a lot more than this
Yeah.
in terms of complexity. So I would usually add another subdivider on that. And if it's too high, I'll just start deleting loop cuts.
Yeah.
I usually do that. I'll go really high when I'm creating something.
Yeah.
Right, we can apply this now once I fix this.
If you turn on, I think it's clipping.
Oh, that's pretty handy, that.
Yeah, it snaps to the center line.
Yeah. That's very handy, actually. Had no idea.
Yeah, you can't even tell now.
And then I will merge by distance.
Yeah.
Only when it's low poly like this, and it will connect all those middle parts for you usually.
Yeah.
Right. Then all I'll do is kind of just start smoothing out again. So the bottom part, let's make sure that's sort of straight.
Oops, there was one missed.
It's always something.
I can see why you killed your mouse, middle mouse button.
Yeah. It's constant.
Yeah. So yes, it's an incidental thing, but if you're going to get into using Blender, make sure you get a decent mouse with a decent middle mouse button, because you may kill it.
Yeah. I also went and got a 60% keyboard and realised I'd then lose my numpad buttons for my camera.
Oh, right.
That took a very long time to get used to.
Oh.
Because I just spam one all the time. Like to the point where my number one key was kind of dying off. And then I lost it because I got the 60%. I was like, oh, how do I move my camera?
Yeah.
So now I have to click the buttons, which is not great. So probably don't get a 60% keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is now where the asymmetry of the avatar starts to cause problems that you have to now tidy up.
Yeah. Yeah, once you've kind of smoothed out everything and you know, everything's kind of where you want it, then you want to turn off the symmetry at that point.
Yeah.
Because you can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Shoulder is causing me so many problems. That'll do. Yeah, and then like I said, for a tight top, I'll do the shrink wrap. I don't think it's gonna work on this, but
yeah, no, it's
yeah, it's not great. But
it looks okay. It's just a resolution thing.
yeah, it should be very skin tight though. It's not really gonna have it.
Yeah.
Like there.
So what would happen if you increase the resolution, if you had a subdivision underneath that? Well, that's a little bit better, yeah.
And then you just kind of wait. Let's try it, shall we? Let's have a high poly top. Oh, it's gonna.
Well, it's 3.5K, so that's.
Just thinking about the whole weighting part.
Nightmare.
Yeah. And let's leave that for now. But anyway, you'd add that on. I'll show you quickly. You'd apply it, and then you kind of just do the whole process again because it's very skin tight now, so you kind of don't have to
right.
You know, and then smooth it, etc.
Yeah.
But it's inflating. Oh no, I'm using inflate. That's probably why. Yeah, it will look really nice if it's. I can show you the one I made yesterday after this. Actually, just kind of quick.
No, well, that looks okay. I mean, that looks fine.
Yeah, it's just when you kind of look at the side. Yeah, it's not the worst, is it? That'll do. But yeah, that's how you do a very tight top. Sort of down here. And then you kind of just smooth.
Well, it's an issue really of your topology rather than necessarily the mesh density.
Yeah, I will do that for everything. Now there's a really handy add-on called Retopology.
Yes.
It's free.
Yeah.
And I use that as well as Speed Retop, which was like £4 or $5. Very cheap. And they're very good. Especially if you kind of want to fix like, you know, where your kind of joints are going to go, but you don't really want to sort of retop the entire thing.
Yeah. So so retopology is where the mesh is basically reconstructed to use a better mesh structure that fits or aligns to the underlying mesh. The joys of live streaming on a busy street.
I live in London, so
yeah.
Can you hear the alarm?
Yeah.
That alarm went off. It started at 5 p.m. yesterday. It went off at 11:30.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how you'd make your
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
very standard top.
I mean, that is what, half an hour,
Yeah.
30 minutes. That's pretty good for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks, people would derive off that probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do with just Blender. And then obviously, for your kind of details and stuff,
Yeah.
you just up the poly count.
Yeah.
Wrong button. And then sort of start sculpting in your details and everything.
Yeah. Well, Narcissistic says that they stream when they stream, they get chickens.
Oh,
So,
I think I'd prefer the chickens, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I know that alarm's not going to stop.
Yeah.
I'm already dreading it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not too loud in stream, otherwise I might just mute and unmute when I need to talk. I guess.
No, it's the audio settings are clipping it out when there's no audio.
Oh, that's all right then.
But it does come in when you talk, though, so that's. But yeah, it's. I mean, that's the thing with live stream. Just doing any sort of video, whether it's a static video that you record for a tutorial or not, you have to do it in a way that you're not getting all these interruptions.
Yeah. I have to shut my window and just die in the heat.
Yeah. Yes, right. Vanessa is asking, are you sculpting? Kind of, sort of. Using the sculpting tools, but not doing a full sculpt. But the sculpting tools just help shape the mesh.
Yeah, I've never actually just sculpted without some kind of base. But right, and then try very quickly UV map that as well.
Jezza wants to know, who is the creator making this mesh?
Oh, Unequal.
So, Unequal. That's who, Jezza.
Right, UV mapping then, yeah.
Vanessa, yes, all of the streams are archived. So once the stream is done, they go up as an archive and you can watch that after the fact. Ooh, UV mapping.
Yeah, not my favorite. So, no, we'll do 512 for now. But yeah, 256, 512. If I was to split this up into 4 pieces, I'd do 256 times 512 for the front, back, and then 3, and then 1 for the sleeves. But I'm gonna stick it all on 1 for now, because if I was to use this, I wouldn't put a pattern on it or anything.
Right.
But I will kind of figure out where I want everything to be. So like, I know this is the arm loop for the sleeves.
Yeah. Narcissistic says, you guys make this look so easy. Meanwhile, I may be getting a divorce from my hubby trying to teach me.
Oh dear. It's just time consuming. I don't think meshing is hard. I will never tell anyone meshing is hard. It's just, you just kind of have to go with it and be okay when things look bad.
Yeah, I mean, meshing, as in just making something, is relatively easy from the point of view
Yes.
of you just do stuff. The hard part is getting to grips with all the technical aspects of it. So making sure that your mesh is optimized and UV mapped properly and all of that sort of stuff. But actually making something isn't really that difficult. You've just got to spend a bit of time and patience just getting to grips with the tools. Jezza says to use a color grid instead of the blank. The
What,
blank
a checker?
checker, yeah. Well, you know, it's either or. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'll just take one on this second then. Right, that's kind of your basic seams for a t-shirt. You know,
Yes.
you need your arms,
Yeah.
cut them in half.
Yes, and what you're doing is laying out the seams in places where they would naturally occur so that you hide, essentially,
Yeah.
air quotes, you hide the seams in the material of the clothing item.
Then I'd highlight all that and unwrap it.
Yeah, see,
And then
there you go.
bang.
Yeah.
When I am when I make anything that's derivable, anything like that, I will straighten these out to a rectangle. You know, it takes me hours, but I will make sure every single line is straight. They all line up. I'll make sure the seams here match
Yes.
perfectly together.
Right.
This is only really important when one, you're making a derivable,
Yeah.
and two, if you want to make patterns, quite complex patterns that you want to match on either side of a seam. So if I
So you're
yeah,
making the UV square-ish square?
yeah, I'll completely yeah, I mean rectangles basically,
Well,
I'd
yeah,
say.
yeah.
So like, say for example, this was you know, completely straighten it out.
Right.
This would be straight.
Right. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, sides would link up. Every single seam should match perfectly together.
Yeah.
And then you'd put on the UV checker. So you can see here that these don't match up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have sort of perfectly aligning squares.
Yeah.
Straight across. There's
Yeah.
another one here. Yeah. So here you can see it.
Yeah.
Everything would be straight and lined up.
Yeah.
And if you want, I mean, you should always kind of offer these as derivables, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very highly customizable derivables rather than zero change derives that you can just stick on a color and call it day.
Yeah.
Because the you know, there's not much you can do with that. You can't really go wild with them.
Yeah.
The other thing I have on whenever I'm making a UV is I'll click up here.
Yeah.
I don't know what that button's called. Overlays. Display stretch.
Yeah.
I use that for absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You want it all dark blue, the same shade of blue, so you can see.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It'll kind of show you what's going wrong on your.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you always want that those dark blue. But that's the very basics of UV mapping. This display stretch thing is like a lifesaver.
Yeah.
You know, you can put UV grid, color grid. I never use them, but
Yeah, you've got an add-on by the looks of things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I will use this, but do you really need it? No,
No, not
not
really.
really.
No.
No, I just like add-ons.
Well, yeah,
But,
I mean, you've got used to it, so
yeah. But
yeah.
that's that.
And of course, now that you've got a UV map, you can save the map as your template
Yeah,
for UVing.
yeah. So you just go UV,
Yeah,
export UV layout.
yeah,
Always highlight it first. I don't know if that makes a difference. And then you'll just get a flat PNG
yeah,
or JPEG, depending on what you pick.
yeah.
Don't resize your UV maps. Also, I made the very bad mistake of resizing it after I'd UV mapped it,
Uh-huh.
and it completely distorted it, ruined the
Really?
entire thing. Yeah, it was awful.
It shouldn't
I,
do.
I did it in a 512 and resized it to a 256, like that. And you see the stretch.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking, and I did that and uploaded everything
Right.
with that size, and like had to completely restart from scratch because of that.
Yeah.
And I saved
yeah.
over it as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. Right. What else was there?
Yeah, so although Unequal's using an add-on for the UV map and the texture, obviously Blender has its own defaults that you can use as a well.
Yeah, so if you want your own UV checker,
Mm,
I'll just delete that. Just open up shading. You can add a image texture
yeah.
from here. And then where are they? Got loads somewhere. Your UV checkers also, I didn't know this when I started. You need to resize them in Photoshop, but not resize. You need to crop out what size you want. So,
Yes,
for
so the
example,
grid should always be the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I tried to resize mine and wondered why it looked weird.
Yeah.
But this is like a, whatever size it is,
Yeah.
1,000 by something.
Yeah.
In Photoshop, I'll just crop out a 512.
Yeah.
Anyway, you pop that in there, and then there's your UV checker.
Yeah.
But that's how you'd get it without any fancy add-ons. Right. Oh, and then material. So as we're just doing one UV map, I'll make a material for every UV map that I make.
Yes.
And what would that be? Just 2, right?
For a top, yes, standard top number 2.
Yep. And then just double check you assign that. I always change the color just to double check.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so that, just standard one material because I have the one UV. If I do sleeves and a back, I'll have 3 materials and 3 UVs. But the more UVs you have, the better, because it'll be much higher quality.
Yeah.
Then we're just gonna weight it, right?
Yes.
All right. For weighting, I'll click my T-shirt and then bind to armature. Is very handy.
Right. Yes. So we're using the toolkit here. So this is the IMVU Blender toolkit.
Then we can move over to paint weights. No, we can't. Click your T-shirt and paint weights, and we can see. God. Yeah. So it's automatically applied the weights. from the armature
Yeah.
straight onto our mesh.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's going to be fine. So we'll be switching to pose, but if you click your item, you can just switch straight into
Yes.
pose mode. Yes, you can from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great, but
Yeah, so this is where we were talking about your mesh structure. If it doesn't match the
yeah,
avatar exactly, you start to get issues.
yeah.
But you're going to get issues with clipping anyway when you're weight painting. So this is the one that tries everybody's patience.
Yeah, I will literally I'll weight paint for hours and
Yeah.
hours. I mean, even weeks. Like,
Yeah.
just forever.
Yeah.
Trying to fix things.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better, isn't it? You also have the issue of because it's so blocky. Like when you kind of rotate your avatar.
Yeah.
You know your
Yeah.
So you want to smooth these weights, really. Now, if this is going to work on this, probably not. But you'll just go to weights and then smooth.
Yeah.
For some of the stuff that I make, probably not an IMVU. I'll go as high as 10 for this. Which you can see it smoothing that arm.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then of course with IMVU's limit on the number of bones and influences.
As that as well, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with that. Yeah.
So, I mean, we can try 2, but it's infuriating if you can't get a smooth sort of transition. But yeah, this is where you're just gonna go insane trying to get this to match up.
Yeah.
You kind of need to be aware of how the body moves as well. I mean, I do very stupid things like
no, but you have to because some of the poses are kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, a lot of the poses now are very static. So, and they're all very kind of like just standing in the corner against the wall, kind of chilling thing.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of movement going on. So you can get a bit lucky now, but you know, you just have to be aware as well when you're uploading your products and you're testing them out.
Yeah.
That alarm is driving me insane.
I know.
You just have to be aware that some poses, it's not your weighting. That's the problem. There are some poses that almost break the avatar's bones.
Yeah.
And that's not your fault.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. But if I just open up my one, the one I did yesterday, because that is weighted. Right.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like some of the sitting poses in particular, where the legs, where the legs fold under themselves.
Yeah,
those are the really nasty ones.
And then suddenly your perfectly weighted skirt
is
now clipping, and you're like, oh, I have to go and do that again. But actually, no, it's not you.
It's not you. No, it's not you. It's me.
Right. So this is the one I did yesterday.
Yeah.
This. Now what?
You did save the one that you were just doing, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
so this is your custom torso.
Yeah, so you can see there's a lot more structure here.
Yeah.
It's a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get more.
Yeah.
You know, this more around the chest as well. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is at the end of the day. But I've also split this into the UV maps I was talking about.
Oh right, so you've got a front Right, yeah. So front, back, and sleeves.
Yeah.
Right.
I pin all the edges as well. I don't know if this helps, but it does in my brain. So I'll pin these, and then I'll unwrap it again.
Yeah, no, that reorganizes the UVs within, because
Yeah.
you fix the outline and then pin it
Yeah.
and then unwrap it. Yeah.
This is almost what I was talking about getting it square.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, you can kind of see
Yeah.
where I'd kind of get this square now, this very large shape, and kind of start.
Yes.
But this again was just.
So it kind of looks like the cut sheets from Marvelous.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah. But that's all it would do. So yeah, this was the whole process again with the square.
Right. Okay.
Mirroring
the stages. Yeah.
Yeah, subdividing. Again, there's the shrink wrap that we couldn't do.
Right. Yes.
But you see there's not much difference, but probably around the arms there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the same thing. It's just obviously there's a lot more going on this body rather than IMVUs.
Yeah.
So then so it's just waiting. You just got to be patient of it. You know, walk away if you need to.
Yeah, it's not clipping. Yeah. It's not clipping that much at all.
No.
No.
It shouldn't clip at all.
No, but that's the difference. Oh, look, and you've got the others weighted as well. Yes. That's yeah. You see, I mean, because the avatar, the default avatars are so low res. I mean, they were high res, you know, back in the day, but
oh god, yeah.
You know, these days, very low res. Yeah, no clipping at all.
Yeah. So you just have to get a bit creative with that kind of standard body. It can be done. You can delete the IMVU torso completely, and you just weight your t-shirt and then get rid of the inside of the body and upload your t-shirt, just making sure that you can't see where there's no torso.
Right. Yeah. So you cut the parts out that you don't want.
So say if your chest was completely clipping here and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You would just delete the chest area and just export your t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah, because that's what a lot of the clothing meshes do now. Is just they make the meshes as they are intended to be seen or used.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about you know, loads of body parts sticking through because there just aren't any. I think that's all done. I'd sit here and delete all these as well.
The ones that you don't need.
Yeah. The only problem is for studio, I've weighted my body to 6 bones.
Right.
Not 4. So this is not going to look okay in studio.
Yeah.
So I can upload it to classic just to see what it looks like, but
we can do that.
Yeah. God. Export.
Oh, yeah, rename. You may need to rename the collection clothing.export to clothing underscore.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Oh, when you click this export button, make sure you're in weight paint mode because it will export.
Oh, does it export everything?
No, it exports instantly. You don't have to sit there waiting straight away. There we go. Also stop that whole weight limit thing.
So, for demonstration purposes, we will now use Classic instead of Studio.
Oh god, I'm trying to remember how to do this. Right, create. But it's been a long time.
Derive new product.
That's the one.
Yeah. Empty clothing.
No, I'm just thinking about the body. I've not actually explored the
Oh,
body.
right, yes. Oh, yes,
So,
of course. Yes.
yeah. Right, let's just join it and see what happens. Oh, that's a shape key. Yes.
Oh, yes. Clean up your materials before you
Yeah.
export. Make sure any materials that are not being used, you remove them. And then, of course, you have to use the compatible naming convention. So that's your space, square brackets, and a number, close square brackets.
Right. Oh god, I've got to find it.
Re-export.
Right. So this would be 2.
2, yeah, upper body.
We don't need to change that apply scale anymore. Then, I mean, for me, it'll be, was it 5, 6, and 7?
Yeah,
For the
so
legs.
that's pelvis, left and right.
Yeah. 80 for female.
Yeah.
And then we should be good.
Yep,
Yes.
there it is. Perfect.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot do anything about this.
Yeah.
Like, nothing. I have spent endless hours trying to get rid of that. It's impossible. Just don't even bother.
Narcissistic says, oop, outing yourself as a Fall Guys player. Must have seen an icon somewhere.
A Fall Guys? Oh, right. Yeah. I have way too many games on this PC.
Yeah. No, but that's yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah, you see, because you don't have the same clipping issues, changing the body shape or
no,
or the pose.
not at all. No.
I mean, there's a little bit, but barely noticeable.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't do anything about that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if I was to put this on Studio, however, that'd be a different story because all this here is the middle part and the chest area.
Yeah.
I'll get a massive clip here.
Yeah.
And through the middle.
Yeah.
Right there as well. But yeah.
So what would happen if you actually did bring this into Studio? Does it just not work completely, or?
It works, but yeah, it's not great. It will completely there's an example on the IMVU tutorial thingamabob page, and it shows what happens when you don't follow the limits.
Right.
and it will clip in the stomach and the chest, like every time without fail.
Right.
God. All right.
Narcissistic. That is narcissistic is saying, do you think the avatar structures will ever improve enough to fix those unfixable issues? IMVU are apparently working on updating the avatars, but ... It's not. It's not an easy thing to do, because if you update the avatars and essentially replace the defaults, it basically means that none of the products that were made with those old avatars in mind will work on the new updates. So that's the issue that they have. Oh, I see. It's just a tiny bit of clipping.
Yeah, there's no texture on it. So if this is well you get. See right here.
Yeah.
That is another one.
Yeah, so that's the pelvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pelvis node and spine 01,
Yeah.
spine 02.
Then you get a really harsh one down the shoulder. If I can put the texture in there so you can kind of see it. The map.
Yeah, I mean, it looks okay, but it's not as...
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a few spots, but...
They haven't updated it to 6, have they?
I don't know, have they? They mentioned they were doing something about that, but I don't know if they've actually done that. That looks okay. Yeah, the underarm clipping, Vanessa, is something that you're going to have to kind of, grit your teeth and just accept it, because it's a very tricky problem to solve because of the way that the... Oh, well, that's not too bad.
There should be a massive clip down the middle. I don't know why it's not doing it. Oh god, right. There we go. You can kind of see, you see here?
Oh yeah, it's just deformed.
Yeah, I think it's just because there's not texture and you can't really see how bad it can be with the 4. The 6, I mean. Yeah, but and then this as well. Because of the 6.
Yeah.
There's some as well. Yeah, that's completely like broken there. But yeah,
That's not too bad, because
it's not the worst.
No, because I mean, you have to. I mean, like we were saying before, you have to consider the pose is twisting the avatar in a way that's actually quite, quite harsh. Because if you twist, yeah, I mean, it looks like most of the twist is on the upper half of the body, so that's going to twist that midsection out a little bit. Yeah, you see, it's not nearly as bad. It's still a bit of clipping, but
yeah, funny that actually.
But that's like you were saying earlier, that I mean, this is the thing with clothing, is that if you start to get into clothing, you've now got to keep in mind, particularly the poses that people have, because of the way that they're made. The poses may cause more clipping. There's the... Yeah.
There's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, it may cause more clipping than you're expecting, just because of the way that the mesh is being deformed by the skeleton. Yeah, narcissistic. Yeah, they're not. It's the updating the avatars is on their to-do list, but the problem with the, that we just said with you can't really. I mean, basically, they would have to create a new catalog and delineate old versus new. That's the only way you could really do it. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty decent. I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
only
for
there's only a
kind of
few
30-minute
spots.
top. Yeah, but you just have to make sure you weight that to
Yeah,
4 bones.
yeah, and that of
Um,
course is we are using a custom avatar shape, so you are in more control over the weight painting than you would be with the originals, the default avatars. Yeah,
yeah, I think that was pretty much everything about to make a basic top.
yeah.
Apart from the kind of more complex thing was like sculpting and everything, but stuff like that you just
Well, it's
you can have a lot of fun
patience.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's taking the time. I think that's the thing that gets most people really is that they see a design and want to make the design there and then, and they don't take their time with just using the tool
yeah,
and shaping the mesh because they just want it done and stuffed into the catalog so that so you're earning some credits.
yeah. I kind of did that when I first started. I tried to make things without actually knowing what any of the buttons did on Blender.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, the infamous donut tutorial
yeah,
is where I started, and
yeah,
that that's what taught me the Blender interface,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
kind of vital. But I'd definitely start with that.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's pretty good. I mean, the what did we say? The mesh itself, the underlying mesh, that was done in about 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and that's at your speed, obviously. So if we slow that down by 0.5, it'd probably be about an hour for everybody else.
This one took me 15. This first one.
Yeah,
This was a 15-minute t-shirt.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I purposely slowed it down for the stream. It's like, right, you can't be doing that. But yeah,
Oh dear.
yeah. I mean, once you kind of get the hang of it, and you just kind of trust the process, nothing looks good until about halfway through. I
Yeah.
mean, this there was a
Yes.
process between
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, so you have to get used to that. You have to get used to the early stages of your meshes looking a little bit crappy
yeah.
and not what you envisage or envisage what you have in mind. And it's not until you start getting into once you've got the basic structure and shape of the mesh, that's when it starts to look like, whatever it is that you're actually trying to make. But yes, you've got to take your time with it. Don't rush, and don't expect it to be done overnight, because this stuff, even for the likes of Unequal and myself, this stuff does take time.
I mean, I've spent 4 hours today alone
Yeah.
mapping half a dress,
Yes.
and that's just a map,
Yeah.
just a simple UV map, and
Yeah.
that took 4 hours. It's just time consuming. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's making sure that you are. I mean, when you start, you're just making a mesh, and the mesh is just for you, and it doesn't really matter too much about sort of the more technical aspects of it. But as you get more experienced, and you want your meshes to be derived and derived easily, that's when things start to get complicated, because you obviously have to start thinking about it's not, you're not just unwrapping a dress, a top, you're unwrapping it in a way that's going to be user friendly for whoever it is that derives from it. So you're unwrapping for the next person that's going to be using the mesh. You're not unwrapping for yourself.
No.
You're unwrapping for everybody else that uses the thing over, later on. And that's where it does get tricky, because you then do start to have to think about ease of use rather than proper, air quotes, proper UV maps that would, fit the mesh the way that you would normally do them under normal circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be really careful of that.
Yeah. But no, that was excellent. So I don't know if there are any questions. Yeah, show off. Narcissistic says showing off. Yeah, so I don't know if there are any questions. If you've got any questions, we'll drop them in and we'll try and answer them. But other than that, that was pretty interesting. Again, it's interesting watching, the workflow of somebody else using Blender, another Blender user.
Yeah, I absolutely love Blender. I mean, like I said to you the other day, I was how I'm only using Blender at the moment for absolutely everything, because it's so powerful. Blender is so powerful and can do what the majority do, but needs 6 apps for.
Yes.
You can do absolutely everything in Blender. Blender even has a cloth simulation tool. I mean, I've not messed with it.
Yes.
But you can. I know curtains and stuff like that as well for rooms.
Yeah.
You can very quickly make a curtain using that simulation tool. I saw that on YouTube. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's that is a tutorial that I've had on my to-do list for quite some time, but because obviously people are looking at it from the point of view of Marvelous Designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of, I mean, its basics are like Marvelous Designer, but it doesn't function like Marvelous Designer at all.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use it for clothing.
Yeah.
But no, but yeah. But I mean, Blender kind of, my point was that Blender kind of has everything that every other app has. It might lack a few sort of technical things, but you can literally open Blender and leave with a completely finished product, from meshing to UVing to baking, normal maps.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Vanessa is asking, is making furniture easier? Yes, in a word.
Yes. 100%.
I mean, essentially, that's really what you want to start with. If you want to start using Blender, just start making simple furniture items, especially with the toolkit, because the toolkit does all the basics for you in terms of setting up the structure. So all you need to do is just make your mesh, and you've got a product. Clothing is possibly the most complicated type of item to make from a mesh structure point of view, from a meshing point of view. Furniture and maybe accessories as well, they're the simplest. So yeah, start with those. Start with furniture items, because you don't have to mess around with the avatar.
Furniture's so much fun.
It is.
Yeah, so much fun. Clothing drives you insane.
Yes, it does.
Furniture, you can kind of just chill out. And if you wanted to make something kind of clothing-wise, you could make a throw for your sofa or something. It's the same principle, except you don't have the hassle of worrying about.
So Brian's asking, how does it work when you upload a whole body mesh into IMVU for just a shirt? Can you wear other people's pants with it? Oh, so because you uploaded your...
Oh, right. No. Yes, right. Because
layerable, though, isn't it?
What do you mean?
If
So
you,
the middle of my mesh
yeah,
is an exact copy of the IMVU's body mesh.
right,
So this line here,
yeah,
this loop,
yeah,
fits exactly onto the IMVU body. The same way you attach your neck onto the head area.
yeah,
So anything, if I wear my top, it will fit with any trousers in the store that have used the same principle of matching that middle. There's it's only recently people have stopped doing this and bringing out their
right,
bodies
yes,
not using the IMVU avatar.
yeah.
So yeah, that's
So if
this is just
someone, well, you wouldn't be able to use somebody else's pants on, or well, as we would call them, trousers over here. We don't call them pants because pants are completely. But if somebody was wearing someone else's pants or trousers,
mhm.
it wouldn't work with your body mesh, would it? Because it's your body mesh. They would have to wear.
So if they wore my top
Yeah,
with my body mesh
yeah,
with someone else's pants
yeah,
trousers,
yeah,
it
yeah.
would work.
Oh, it would work.
Yes, because so if I go into the shop, so my top, like I said, the middle
Yeah.
is the IMVU. That's my hair. The IMVU avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, clothing. God, this might work. Right. So there's the top,
Yeah.
and then if I put on anyone's trousers, let's just go to page one.
So how does it get
Buttons.
rid of your mesh section then?
Right. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a me problem, but it's fine. That's my body on the top and someone else's on the bottom. Uh,
Oh, oh, okay. But how is it removing your mesh section though? Because you haven't uploaded that as a body part.
oh, so this is just my torso. I cut the avatar in half. So I will just
Oh, oh, okay. I see. So,
yeah. So for
oh, I
this, for
see.
example, I won't upload my body. I'll cut it at
Oh, I
the middle.
see. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Right. Yeah. So does that answer your question, Brian?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's not uploaded as an entire a whole body mesh.
No.
It's split. But it was just done for convenience. For
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll be sitting here for kind of half an hour doing this. But I
yeah.
would delete
Right. Yes. Yeah. I
the
get you now.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, up to here,
Yeah.
and then that's the IMVU body here,
Yeah.
and then
Right. Yeah. I got you now.
yeah, and then I'll just upload that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's one. I mean, not being a clothing mesh maker, to any degree, that kind of stuff sometimes confuses me because you'll see somebody working with a body mesh, and it's not clear how they've uploaded the body mesh and whether they've sectioned it like
Yeah,
you've just done. But
that's what I
yes,
was saying about how
yes,
you can, if you wanted to create this top,
right, yeah,
and then this top, and then you didn't on the IMVU avatar,
yes,
but you don't want it to look like the IMVU avatar.
yes,
You would just, let's say this is the IMVU avatar, you just
yes,
delete the chest
yeah,
without my
yeah,
actual item, and inside, so
yes,
now you can't get any clipping because there's nothing under there.
yes, yeah,
So with that, you can create your own body shape
yeah,
without even needing a body.
yes,
You're just
yeah,
and you can you can get very creative with weighting and stuff like that then, because there's
yes,
what's going
yeah,
to come through, there's nothing under there.
yeah, yeah,
But that would be a great start to anyone who is kind of obsessed with wanting their own body before they create their clothing.
Yes.
To get rid of the IMVU avatar underneath, so you don't have to deal with the shape that you're provided with.
Yeah.
Which is what I wish I did, rather than, wanting to create my own body just to
Yes.
start with clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's I mean, this is what we were saying earlier. It's meshing is relatively straightforward. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily say that it's easy per se, but it's relatively straightforward. But what we've just been talking about are the things that make it tricky, because these are the things that you have to consider and keep in mind when you are making your clothing or making your items generally. Is all of this sort of, because it's like the multi-layered clothing items, and the way that those have to be set up in order for them to work with.
They're ridiculous. I don't go near them,
No,
because
nightmare.
of the fact that you're. And then it gets even more complicated when you're making a layerable for something that's not even yours. Let's say you want to make a layerable for someone else's top.
Yes.
You don't have their weights. You don't have anything that they have. So your entire mesh is going to completely clip through.
Yes. Yeah.
Into their mesh, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So again, layerables are, they're a nightmare. I don't make them for that particular reason.
Yeah.
And I have my own body too, and I still don't go near them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was brilliant. We've been going for about an hour and a half, so I guess we can call it quits there.
Yeah.
Let's just have a quick look through the chat, see if there's any. Yeah, so that's Brian's answered. Cut lines. Yeah, Jezza was just saying the same thing, so it's the cut lines. So yeah, that's basically it. We've covered pretty much. Hey, steady on, Vanessa. We're not going just yet. Just said bye, thanks again. It's not even said cheerio yet. Hang on. Yeah. So we have you for another 2 streams, do we? Another one at least. About I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was clothing.
It was this, because the other one was going to be the whole Marvelous thing, wasn't
it? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we basically just pushed this up a week.
Okay, so what was the next one? Oh, it was sculpting. Was it sculpting?
I don't know. I thought we only had 2, but I like to write things down on post-it notes and then bin them, so I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got Simple T-shirt. That would have been Marvelous Designer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sculpting versus Marvelous. That would have been Marvelous Designer, because Unequal is no longer using Marvelous Designer.
No.
So insert funeral music. So I mean, if maybe we can do another one with maybe looking at texturing in Blender, a bit more textury stuff. Or do you have Substance? Do you use Substance?
Yeah, I do use Substance. Yeah, I could, but I could do sculpting details and texturing.
Yeah.
All in Blender.
Yeah.
Because I guess it would be like, I've done the mesh now. Now it's like, how do we get this?
Yes.
In like the whole thing done in Blender.
Yes.
Which yeah.
So we'll have a chat offline.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Post-it people. Narcissistic. They are my people.
I've got so many stuck on my monitor. I can't even see my screen.
No, I know. So I've got female shoes. So when you're deriving from female shoes, always remember to derive from 13,812. not the defaults. Then I've got another one that says record then stream,
Right.
and then I've got 0 male, 2 female accessory IDs.
Oh my god.
That I've got for poses, I've got the empty derivable 10,945,930.
Nice.
And then for TikTok videos, mobile screen size 414 pixels by 896.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that. Next to my very important IMVU to-do list is also my smoothie mixture. So
Yep.
they're just stuck everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
Just find them everywhere. I found
Yeah.
one in my coat pocket the other day when I went down to Tesco. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's where that went.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Classic. Well, yes, so we'll call it quits there, and hopefully we have another stream looking at Blender for creating.
Yeah.
But thanks very much for that. That was very interesting.
Of course.
Notwithstanding the hiccup with Skype at the so yeah, just so that anybody's watching, Skype has changed the interface a little bit, so you may not find you being able to do full screen video properly the way that it used to be done, and that was the struggle that we were having trying to figure out what was going on there at the very beginning, which is what delayed us. So we just switched to Discord. But yes, so thanks for that, and thanks. Jezza, Narcissistic, Vanessa, Brian, who else? Mesa, and that we might have missed 1 or 2 people, but thanks for lurking lurkers. Thanks for you named people for hanging out and asking questions, and we shall see you on the next stream.
Bye.